Hello, Facebook. Super excited to see all of you here in the Soul Inspired Leaders Collective. I'm just going to give it 1 second here to make sure that it is going live. I'm going to see if I can get my closed captions turned on. Awesome. All right. It looks like we are live and going. I know this is a bit of an impromptu Facebook Live. So those of you joining me live, say hello in the chat. I'd love to say hello to you. I know there's lots of new people in the group. And if you're on the replay, say hello as well. I always check the replay viewer comments as best I can as well. And I want to just welcome, there's so many members joining as we are kicking off our 4-day series tomorrow, Amplify Your Clairvoyance. So if you're listening to this in real time, there's still time to sign up. It's a free activation series that is value packed and lots of transformation. And we kick off tomorrow morning, June 6th, but the replays will be up all month and I'll be available all month to be supporting the replay viewers as well. So I highly suggest checking that out if you have not already. All right, so I'm going to start with diving in. I'm going to kick off with, I do a week by week monthly angel card reading, intuitive reading, to just look at the energy of the month. And this helps you to really lay the landscape, kind of energetically ground the energy for what's to come so that you can really align with that higher path that you are creating for yourself. Hello, Susan, Alyssa, Heather, good to see you all here. So I'm going to start with, I know we're a couple days into the month. It's just like June took off so fast. And so I'm going to just start with the week of from June 1st to 5th, just to get a sense of the energy, maybe any information that could be helpful about what you might have been already experiencing this past week. And just to kind of get a sense of the month so we get a holistic view, and then we'll go week by week throughout the rest of the month. So the first card for the first week, it says energy healing, Merlin. And what I'm noticing, two things come to mind, is I just seeing that you're having, it feels like an energetic upgrade. You're in a process of transformation. You're in the process of awakening and aligning and just elevating your energy to that next level. Now, sometimes that can feel a bit tumultuous. And I'm looking at the rest of the cards that came up, and it feels like you might have been going through some intensity, maybe miscommunications, maybe patterns, maybe people from your past. Everybody's unique situation will be different, but the energy of opportunity, of healing and upgrading is really prevalent. So if you were experiencing something that maybe wasn't to your liking, or was overwhelming or frustrating, or anything that you just didn't appreciate, like how it felt, this is part of learning, what is part of this opportunity of transformation for you. It feels like you're clearing a lot of karmic patterns, a lot of family line patterns, a lot of things that are helping you to create positive change, right? And so whatever's coming up for you, just know that if it's meant to fall away, or it's meant to teach you and help you transform something at a core level so that you can experience more that you want to experience, right? Whatever it is at that next level. And so then the last card was around detaching from drama. So just recognize maybe doing some energy clearing or cord cutting. If you are kind of feeling overwhelmed as an empath or sensitive, perhaps there's energy cords to release, or maybe it's just detoxing from drama, detoxing from the mental monkey mind of your own mind chatter that might be going on, your own fear and doubt, or those people around you, right? Of course, sometimes it could also mean, elevating your energy and not getting too wrapped up in either the collective energy or people around you. So that's sort of just a little preview of what was coming up, what could have been happening for you as we entered into June. Hey, Heather, you've been releasing a lot. Absolutely. I have too, lots of energy coming up. So let's go ahead and look at the week ahead, starting with the week of June 6th through 12th. All right, so I'm working with the goddess. The first deck was the Ascended Masters deck, and this was by Dorinda Bercia, and this is a goddess deck. So the first card is fertility. So that's beautiful. So everything you've been clearing, everything you've been releasing, everything you've been doing, probably even beyond last week, just the whole in this last period of your life, you've created a lot of space and fertility. It's like you've created the space and are continuing to create the space, if you're still working through patterns of fertility, right? So be aware and open to the new ideas that are coming to you. And perhaps you already have these ideas. Just know that you're already creating the seeds. The seeds may have not been sprouting fully. So for some of you, I feel like you're getting new ideas and epiphanies that might change the direction, or you might start something new. And it's a perfect time for that based on all the clearing that you've just done. You're in a new energy, you're in an elevated energy, and it's just going to kind of step into a more creative, inspired time for you, which is perfect timing for our series, right? For those of you joining us. And then there's also that there's sometimes just recognizing that we are planting seeds, or maybe you've been working on something for a while and getting a little frustrated that it hasn't shown as much, maybe hasn't come to fruition as much as you'd like. So that's just an indicator to say, just stay the course. Things are culminating. It takes a little time. You're on the right track. Keep it going. The next card is Bossed, and it says your independence is a foundation for your strength and your success. And it reminds me of this first card too. Like in some ways, I'm just seeing that there's a big, intuitively speaking, like it's important to have that alignment within your energy, between your spirit and your body, between the earth and between source, like that entire line of communication between you and your higher self. That spiritual alignment is a really important aspect, and you've been working on it, but then it's like just that connection to your higher self and saying that you are more powerful than you realize. Like anchor into the fact that you are fully capable of creating and having whatever it is you desire, or whatever it is you have been planting seeds for, right? So just leaning into that confidence and that personal power that you have what it takes and that you are capable. And it says, oh, I love these two cards. So Pele, I just love Pele. And that is the energy of be honest with yourself. What is your heart's desires? And really what I'm feeling, and for some of you, that could be a great question to ask. It's always a great question to tune into. What does your heart really desire? What are you really, really passionate about? And what is it, feels really exciting to you right now? Because it might be different than a project that you used to be excited about, or a goal you used to have that we don't realize is really no longer as much in alignment. But what I'm feeling most of all is about really just using your passion, using your creativity, really tapping into that enthusiasm and that joy within you to drive you, right? Using that passion to drive you, allowing your creativity to be channeled through you. And then Ain or Ein, it says, leap of faith, take a risk, and put your heart's desires into action. Wow. So this is like really saying, go for it. This is saying you are supported. You are on track. Follow your dreams, follow your heart. Don't compromise or water it down because you're afraid or you don't understand how it will all work out. Just trust the process and take that leap of faith. So if you're called into a direction, our dreams are on the other side of fear. We're always going to have to be moving through different levels of fear, which actually we're going to be talking a lot about in the 4-day series. And I'm going to give you a lot of tools, and we're going to be doing a lot of clearing. The cool side benefit of the 4-day activation series is that you will be using that as an alchemical container to do what we're talking about here. So use that energy, right? Take a leap of faith. Know that you will always be required to stretch through your comfort zone as you're forging a new path. It's someplace you haven't been yet, right? And so that will often light up those fears and doubts that we have. And so we have to get really good at navigating them, clearing, doing that inner work with ourselves, but also feeling the fear sometimes and doing it anyways. And so if you needed that encouragement, it just feels like take that leap of faith. Seeds planted. Thank you for confirmation. Oh, I love it, Dawn. You're welcome. Yes, that's what I've been working on, really anchoring in, and I can create anything I want to. I love it. Absolutely. What time is it Eastern time? The 4-day event Eastern time live. Well, it's 9 a.m. Pacific. So that would be 12, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 Eastern. And I believe that falls to be like 5 UK. However, most people are on replays. I mean, this is going to be, I'm going to allow the replays up all month. I'll be active all month till the 28th, really focused with some solid 2 weeks after the series ends. So really about 3 weeks of time. So don't worry if you can't make it live. I think mark the calendar if you can, because I'll answer questions and it's always just good accountability. But don't worry because a lot of people will be on replays. All right, so let's look at the next week. Let's look at the 13th to 19th. And this is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And then I'm going to work one of her Work Your Light also by Rebecca Campbell. Okay, lots of cards are talking. We'll see here. We'll see what this message is. So, inner earth, you'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. So, this is powerful, right? Because obviously you've been through a lot of transformation, probably more than just this last couple of few weeks, but we've been in a portal eclipse, like in real time. We've been going through that eclipse portal through May, through the retrograde that just ended. And so there's been a lot of culmination, like a pressure cooker of like the sediment of these past limitations and fears and doubts and misalignments that have been coming to the surface. So I highly recommend whatever's been coming up to let go, like release it, feel safe in releasing it, because this is really where you created the space for a new beginning. The letting go of the old is the first step of a creation process, because you have to make room, right? And so this is just a validation again that, hey, you've been going through a lot, continue to shed, continue to let go, because you have a very beautiful, powerful new beginning on the horizon. Jen's replays are as powerful as the lives. They are, Dawn. Thank you so much for sharing that. They really, really are. And I'm very attentive to the replay viewer comments and questions as well. So, all right, so back to this. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. So this is perfect, right? Your intuition really is your compass. It is the way that you get to learn how to navigate and guide your life and consciously create whatever you want with more ease and grace and with a lot more fun and with a lot more impact for those of you that are feeling called to make an impact in the world with your gifts. So this is about trusting your intuition. And I want to say too, for some of you, to let go, like, don't judge yourself too harshly or criticize yourself too harshly. Allow yourself that permission. It feels like some of you might need to hear the message about letting go of the fact that maybe you think it should have gone a certain way. You think it should have been quicker. Maybe the regret of, oh, I wish I should have done it sooner, or I could have done it differently, or I wasted time, or why didn't I do that? Like those kinds of things. Sometimes those can get in our head. I just feel like, letting you know that all paths, we always have the opportunity. Basically, the message is that we always have the opportunity to align in any second of any moment, no matter what choices we made, no matter what mistakes we made, no matter what, right? And who's to say there were even mistakes in the first place? Maybe that was what your soul needed to go through in order to gain some new awareness and strength and resiliency to catapult yourself forward, right? And so regardless of what it is, the past is done. Start right here. You can always move forward. And so this is just saying that all paths lead home. Tune inward to align and to ask your intuition what next step is best for you today, right? And just start there. The next card is loosen your grip. So this is about surrender, right? This is about letting go of the need to control, surrender, trusting, leaning into that faith, right? That's an important piece. It says, and I'll read the card too, but that's just the general sense that I'm getting, is about just letting yourself receive. And your intuition's part of your divine feminine energy within. Now, whether you're male, female, body type, gender, association, none of it matters. We all have and need masculine and feminine energy within. And the feminine energy is that receptivity. It's that receiving, which is part of how our intuition is allowed in. And it's also part of letting go of control and allowing our spiritual support, allowing ourselves to be supported, and allowing ourselves to receive. And so this is saying, trust the process. Now, the card itself also says, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. So if there's any messages there for you on that, take it as that resonates. But for the most part, I was feeling overall, this is about surrender. It's about releasing the need to control. And it's about allowing yourself to trust yourself, trust the process, trust you're supported, trust it all, right? And that is a daily process. So the last two cards here that came out for this week, or the week of that we're on, right? Which is the 13th through 19th. It says Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, and Mystic Teacher. I love it. So a few things I'm just kind of tuning in intuitively. This is about really connecting with two things. So the first thing I'm feeling is you're connecting with all parts of yourself. I feel like you have been doing so much inner work that you've been healing your inner child. You're calling back your, as you're doing your healing work, you're calling your inner child, you're integrating your inner child even more fully. But also it feels like even bigger than that. It feels like you're connecting with your wisdom from past lives, from future lives, from other timelines. Like you're connecting in with all of your lifetimes of information. And this isn't your first rodeo, right? You're bringing in and you're channeling channeling and you're connecting with all of your information from different lifetimes that you're meant to use and utilize in this lifetime. And so that's really, really powerful. And the other piece of that, which is like tune into your heart. And the other piece of it is about connecting with soul family, right? So you're connecting with soul family and spiritual guides that are absolutely here to support you as well. And then right underneath the other one, we got another leap of faith. So if this isn't a confirmation to just go for it already, right? And to really trust it, because the bigger that the bigger that our dream is, the bigger that our vision is, the more maybe other people, our family may not understand, or other people might not totally get, the more it requires us to fully trust ourselves in the process. And so this is saying, leap, you go first, the universe will catch you. And that's 2 cards in a row, and they were right underneath each other, which I think is a really powerful and important exclamation from the universe. Don't let your fear and your excuses sway you. If you feel aligned with something, leap, the universe will catch you, right? If you're looking especially about creating a new business or something like that, I know it can be scary. Trust me, I've done it. And it does require continuing trust and continuing leaps of faith. And when you continue to leap of faith like that, you're going to fast track your success. That's how people talk about quantum shifts, having massive shifts in a small time. They're willing to surrender, trust their intuition, and take leaps of faith that may not feel logical. So yes, it does sound like a very intuitive week. Very interesting. Okay, learning Reiki. Awesome. I love Reiki. And that was our first card, if you were not on here, was around energy healing. So that could be a good validation also for you. All right, so let's look at the next week. So that was just 3. So that we're going to go the 20th to 26th. And then we'll do the last bit of the month. So the 20th through 26th. I'm going to do a couple from this deck, I think. And then we'll do a couple from our Crystal Oracle. I just have my little pile of cards, and you never know who's going to come out. Okay. So the first cards were Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, and Look a Little Deeper. And I love this. I just got back from 2 weeks in Egypt. And I was feeling the Egypt energy earlier with Bast as well. And the pyramids, man, the pyramids are just this super power center, all these pyramids. But that's what I'm noticing is you're connecting with your star seed ancestor. And it's interesting that Egypt, the Great Pyramid in particular, was like its powerhouse and connection to all of the galactic beings, right? All of the star seed energy. And so this could be that you're calling in, ancestors and guides from really high vibrational and in some ways, other star systems, right? And so just tune into that and what that is for you. And then the other piece of it is like, it says lost wisdom, look a little deeper. So I feel like kind of reminds me of that other card I was saying when I was seeing that you're connecting with all parts of you, right? You've had lots of experiences in other times and places that were very empowered, right? Where you are very much empowered with your gifts that you're going to be called to in this lifetime. And so this is about really utilizing and trusting and connecting into your own wisdom and tuning inward. So if you have, tuning into your intuition keeps coming up for sure. And this says called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up, right? So this is really for all of you, which I know who draws to my group are those of you who feel called to be of service in some way, who are called through a spiritual awakening of some kind and activating your gifts. And you're going to go out and you're going to make a ripple effect of healing with your inherent gifts and your own unique voice and your own message and your story and your healing, right? And that's really powerful. And so this is really another validation for that, for those of you that feel that you are here to, basically be of service in the world in some ways, right? This is calling you into your soul's purpose and into your leadership. Oh, I didn't realize 3 cards popped out for the crystals. Wellness. The recovery of wellness is here. So this just is really powerful validation of all the healing work you've been doing. Also, I want to say to not abandon yourself. I feel like part of our spiritual path is about learning how to balance. We're learning how to do it differently as highly sensitive and empathic people, which most of you I feel are here in this group. That's who I attract and help is is that we have to find a balance. We're no longer going to be able to just burn ourselves out, right? It's imperative that we find that balance within ourselves, which keeps our masculine and feminine energy in check, which is a new way of doing business, a new way of doing life, right? And so this is basically validating a lot of healing that you've done, and also just a reminder to keep yourself in wellness, right? Keep attentive to your body's needs. Yes, this is for the month of June. I'm going week by week. And this is says Love Life, Rose Quartz. New or renewed romantic love is here for you. So for some of you, that could be a specific message about love, if that's on the horizon. But intuitively, what I'm feeling in a big way is your heart chakra has been healing. Like you've been doing a lot of healing work. You've been doing a lot of releasing. You've been doing a lot of increasing your own self-worth, right? A lot of healing from past relationships, most likely in the last few months or however long. And so this is just sort of a validation of that healing as well. And then some of you might be called to bringing in love, which that's exciting. And the lapis lazuli is life-changing epiphany or experience. It's time for a big blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. I love that, right? And lapis lazuli is a great crystal as well for intuition, right? And your third eye, which we'll be speaking about a lot this week. And then of course, rose quartz for the heart was what came up there. And then for the healing was jade, if I didn't mention those as well. All right, let me know how this is resonating for you. And let me go ahead and do the last week. So the last week will be the 27th through 30th. We'll see how we can align with the energies. So the first card that's coming through for the last week is purification and detoxification. So this is going to be a continued time of shedding, releasing. It's like as we elevate, we're going to continue to be healing and letting go. So part of it too, what I'm feeling specifically, this is garnet, is the crystal, but it says release physical and energetic toxins from your life. And so when we go through a lot of spiritual change and we do through a lot of spiritual awakening, which clearly all of this reading is about that, you and all of you here, right? I'm sure you're drawn to that in some way. So this is like when we spiritually advance, the last thing we got to do is we have to shift it on all levels, spiritually, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so what I'm feeling too, yes, could still be for some of you a time of shedding and purifying, but it feels more like elevating your body's vibration so that it can anchor in at that new level as its new floor. Does that make sense? So part of it is like we're toggling our energy vibration up. Every time we heal a little bit, we can embody more of our higher self. And every time we embody more of our higher self, our vibration rises. And it's a new set point. And the higher that our vibration rises, the more quickly we manifest, the more connected to our intuition we are, the more the miracles can actually come into fruition. And sometimes it's about how are we treating our body? Our body is our vessel, and we have to be able to anchor all of this spiritual growth and information into our physical reality so that we can manifest it into form. Sometimes that's the missing piece for empaths. We're going to talk about a lot of this in the series as well in terms of tools, because a lot of us, we need to really work on grounding into the body, because without that, you might have trouble manifesting. And so this is about, if you want to raise your vibration, detox your body, you might feel called to a detox of some kind, or a juice cleanse, or, whatever your body's calling you to eat, or eat less of, or less sugar, or, everybody's going to be different, but it's about raising your vibration and really purifying. Salt baths could be good too, but it feels more like really anchoring into like giving yourself a cleanse on some level. Let's see, this is totally resonating. Yes, the messages are hitting home. I'm in the middle of a reading Rebecca's book as well, 100% for me. Awesome. I love it. Hello from Pennsylvania and Diana. Ooh, look at that. And then we got Adana, High Priestess. I love this card. It says you have to find knowledge that can help you help others through your spiritual teaching. And this really reminds me back of that other one too. You are a priestess, you're a high priestess, right? Or high priest, right? We have some conscious men in the room as well. And so this is about really connecting with your innate spiritual knowledge. And that is like owning your power, owning your information, and that you're here to teach. You're here to teach or share your message, or you're here to support in some way. And so this is really about you like trusting your innate gifts that you have and cultivating them, right? And then sharing them, right? In whatever form. For some people, it might be through doing intuitive healing work. Sometimes it might be through speaking or sharing your story. For others, it might be through counseling or more traditional routes, right? There's many different ways that we can be of service in the world. This is about you trusting in your own knowledge and knowing that you are here to serve on that level in some form. Stay focused, right? Stay focused on your goals, stay focused on your vision. Don't allow other things to come in and take away, like take over priority. I think this is also a big empath lesson often, is prioritizing our own needs first and creating time and space for us instead of taking care of everybody else first, or kind of getting distracted into the fear or the doubt and kind of losing focus. So this is just saying, stay focused. And I feel prioritize your time and energy in the direction of what you want to manifest and what you want to create, and that bigger vision that your soul's guiding you towards, that clearly you have a picture of, or the picture is going to be continuing to come in. Because throughout the reading too, I may not have said it as much, but it really is about making the time and space to tune into yourself, tune into your meditation, tune into your intuition, tune into your vision, and stay focused on that and take action. The next card is trust, right? Vishnu. You got to trust. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust the process. You got to trust your spiritual support team. Right? You're not alone in this. And it's great too. Even here, we have a lot of like-minded souls here supporting and celebrating one another on their path as well. So trust. You got to lean into trust, which really cycles back to that initial card earlier as well, which was around surrender, because surrender and trust really go hand in hand, right? You have amazing gifts to share. You have a lot of value to bring. And if you're here listening to this, it's time for you to really take action and trust yourself and trust the process. Beautiful. Let's see, it does really well. Still working part-time as a nurse in a jail, help my discernment have certification in Toist Stone medicine. I'm not sure what that one is. That sounds interesting though. Shamanic training and interest in herbal medicine. Very awesome, Lorraine. I love that. Very awesome. Well, I'm excited to kick off tomorrow with you. I have a couple of freebies here to just mention for those of you that are still here. If you haven't signed up for our Amplify Your Clairvoyance 4-day activation series, I highly recommend it. I have students who have invested in high-level programs with me who come back and take this when I run it. I usually run it 3 times a year. And so it's always a very powerful and transformational time. There's always new things that come through. I have some new things. We have some extra Q&A calls. We're going to create this as basically a transformational container to create whatever you want. So at the very least, you're going to have a transformational shift. And for many of you, if you're brand new to this, it's fine. You're going to have a great foundation. Learn a lot about yourself as an empath, opening your intuition and all of those types of things, how to access your clairvoyance, your channeling abilities, and really just clear your path. And a big part of what we do talk about as well is as an empath, the boundaries and energetic boundaries, so you're not overwhelmed, and all the fears and doubts and how to navigate them in that as well, and how to work with your spirit team, of course. So there's lots of information. I'll put that in the link here. You'll want to register because we do have a lot of workbooks and activations and replays that are sent out each day. And the activations that we do on the call, I layer it with theta healing music and give you some workbook activities. And that way you have all of that and the reminders, of course. The other thing I have that you might be interested in is I did an annual reading. So this has been really powerful, an annual reading where I went, like I just did for the month. I did it for the whole year, but I just did it monthly. I didn't do each week. I just did each month of the year. And I'll put that in here too, because that is really powerful. Again, when we do these, we kind of like set the energetic train tracks, for the year, and our higher self might forget, but it really helps us to align with it because, well, I shouldn't say that. Our higher self doesn't forget. Our higher self remembers, even though our human self might forget. So our higher self, when we do these activations and readings and things, it gives us some insight that can kind of help us lay this energetic framework for what it is that we're creating for ourselves, and then really avoid pitfalls and navigate things with more ease. So I put that energy of 2022 in there as well. That's free, of course. And so you can enjoy that if you'd like. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. I just want to welcome you all. I'm doing my best to keep up with a lot of the welcoming posts as well. We've had lots of people come on in here into the group that are new. So I just wanted to welcome all of the new people. I want to thank all of the people that have been around a while for coming back around. And I look forward to seeing you in a very powerful week as we kick off the series tomorrow. So mark your calendars, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 Eastern, 5 UK. And of course, we'll send you the replay if you can't be there live. And feel free to comment on the questions and things that you have, because we do have 2 Q&A calls in the afternoons, a little bit later in the day, twice next week, that will support you in answering even more questions. So I can't wait to see you then. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.